5 are dead and 3 are still missing after a family's SUV plunges off a cliff in Northern California.
That family of 8 once lived in Minnesota. The bodies of the parents and 3 children were found at the bottom of the cliff. Authorities, however, believe all 6 children were in the vehicle, and they're investigating if it was a deliberate act.
I was trying to help them and protect them, and this is the result.
Neighbors of the Hart family in Washington state say signs of trouble became obvious late last year. They say one of the children recently came to their house a number of times asking for food and then trying to hide by a nearby fence. Before moving to the Pacific Northwest, the family lived in Alexandria. Jeff Wagner spoke with neighbors who told him more about the Hart family's past.
They were just nonchalant, wonderful people.
From day one, Chris Dillon says Jennifer and Sarah Hart and their 6 children were ideal neighbors. The handyman says he not only helped around their house, but fixed the kids' bikes.
They just were the perfect family. You know, they never caused any problems, no headaches, no nothing.
It's how Mike and Lorraine Feely remember them too.
They were nice, well-mannered, just good neighbors.
What they didn't know is that Sarah Hart was convicted in 2011 of domestic assault. One of their children showed up to school with bruises. Sarah admitted to spanking her and pleaded guilty. Last week in Washington state, the Harts' new neighbors called the Department of Child Services. They say one of the children came over starving, begging for food.
They portray this happy little family, and yet, you know, the night before, their daughter's telling us, please, 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 begging us not to make her go back and that they are abusing her. And then Devontae coming over here and telling us that, you know, he's being starved to death and they're mean. And
they say DCS showed up to the house, the Harts didn't answer, and the next day their SUV was gone. Days later, it was found at the bottom of a California cliff.
I don't understand why or how it would have happened.
Investigators say there's no evidence that their drive off the cliff was intentional. However, there were no brake or skid marks leading up to the cliff's edge.
It chokes a person up because they were just so nice of people.
In Alexandria, Jeff Wagner, WCCO 4 News.
Investigators are searching the ocean waters for the 3 children who haven't been found yet. However, rough conditions have made it difficult for divers to go in.
The Trump administration looks different today. That's after President Donald Trump fired yet another member of his cabinet yesterday. He did it on Twitter, and the man he fired was Veterans Affairs Secretary David Shulkin. The president wrote in part, "I am thankful for Dr. David Shulkin's service to our country and to our great veterans." The president intends to nominate his personal physician, Dr. Ronnie Jackson, to replace Shulkin as head of the VA. Back in January, Dr. Jackson gave President Trump a clean bill of health after performing the first medical exam of his presidency.
It's now easier for Facebook users to control what data they share after the company changed its privacy setting. The company is consolidating privacy tools onto a single page. The move comes after news broke that a British consulting firm got a hold of data from 50 million Facebook users. Tech experts say the overhaul is long overdue, but there is still the question of how Facebook is using personal data.
Ultimately, your personal information that you're sharing is valuable to Facebook, and the company needs to be a little bit more transparent about how it's using that data.
CEO Mark Zuckerberg indicated he's willing to appear before Congress to explain how that consulting firm got user data. Since the scandal broke, Facebook stock has tumbled, wiping out more than $1 billion in market value.
President Donald Trump's decision to stop protecting Minnesota Liberians from deportation angered members of the community and members of Congress. U.S. Representative Keith Ellison met with families in Minneapolis yesterday. The Democrat wants a law to give Liberians a pathway to citizenship. On Tuesday, the president ended a program that gave thousands of Liberians temporary immigration status. They now have 1 year to return to West Africa or face deportation.
So if you say, okay, Liberians, you know, time's up, gotta go, you're not just hurting them, which is absolutely wrong and immoral. you're hurting people who they serve, who they contribute to.
Ellison noted many Liberians work at healthcare facilities. He and Republican Congressman Eric Paulson are working on a bill that would let them earn permanent legal status. Well, when you think of spring, you probably think flowers, maybe some sunshine.
Of course, but something else happens when the snow melts away. Garbage appears. That's right. Trash has been buried under snow all winter long.
Oh, it's so pretty.
It is. Not really. MnDOT says a lot of this comes from unsecured loads and trucks and trash that gets blown around. State crews take care of cleaning up the trash on major freeways, but a majority of work elsewhere is done by Adopt a Highway volunteers. They typically begin their cleanups in April.
The sun's coming out, all the snow's going away. It'll be nice to see some green grass instead of McDonald's cups all over the floor.
Some of the pickup work this spring will be done by low-risk offenders as part of a sentencing to serve program. MnDOT says Adopt a Highway volunteers save them more than $7 million a year. So thank you to all the people who volunteer. It makes a big difference.
I think it's safe to say that this is the ugliest time of year.
It
which
really is
okay as long as we get it cleaned up.
The snow looks more like piles of dirt right now.
Got to turn that corner.
Yes. Today marks